Matt, you didn't throw up the logo and you made us live, by the way. So when everyone comes in, I'm just going to be sitting here talking.
What's going on, movie fans? We are live now, and that was the logo. Welcome, I'm Matt, Tony, Bethany, and Daniel. And tonight we're going to talk about just current events that are going on in the movie world, just different things. Be sure to comment over here because at the end we're going to take your fan questions. I promise by the time we reach the end, your questions will be over here somewhere. But first, we're just going to go right off the top. There's a trailer that came out today. It's Netflix's released a trailer, The Devil All the Time, with Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Bill Skarsgård, and a plethora of others in the ensemble there. So all of us have seen it. We're going to give you our thoughts. Daniel, what did you think of The Devil All the Time?
Ooh, all I'm going to say is it's going to be juicy, and I can't wait. Oh, my gosh. This is so much tension and stress, and I think Robert Pattinson is going to be absolutely insane in this movie, which is what I want to see. And I'm ready. Like, I can't wait. And as soon as it comes out, bam, I'm all over it. I can't wait.
All right, Bethany, what'd you think?
I'm excited. This looks good. I remember hearing about this a while ago when Chris Evans was actually still in the cast, our beloved Captain America. Netflix just snatched up all of the Marvel actors for this movie, but then he dropped out because of scheduling conflicts and recommended Sebastian Stan, who is in it. And I'm excited about this one. This one looks really good. I've been waiting for a movie like this for a little while now, and it comes out on my birthday. So I'm very excited. It's like a little birthday present to me, unless it's terrible, in which case I want to return it with a full refund. Hey, Philip, your comment came in.
All right,
comments look like they're working.
I'm seeing a comment, and we're not 10 minutes into the show, so we're already doing well.
Yeah.
Tony, what did you think of the trailer?
So, an amazing cast. I was all excited for it. I clicked it, and then my face went from smiling to frowning to before it was over, my face was all crinkled up and not happy. I mean, the trailer has so much tension, and I'm not a fan of just drama tension. It wears me out. Life has got enough drama. I love action, adventure. So, I came out of it tired after watching it because there's so much going on. So, I'm going to let the rest of the crew watch it first and tell me if it's not quite so drama-y. Is that a word? And then I might go watch it. But I wasn't as excited as everyone else. I don't like that heavy drama.
Tony doesn't like stress.
I like keeping it simple.
So
shots fired in the comment section.
Yeah, we already got some comments going here with Darby. So I love drama. This isn't my kind of film. It leans more towards that Western type side that I don't like, the war side that doesn't really gel with me. However, I love the drama. Tony knows that I love dramatic movies. I love great portrayals, great performances. And this looks like Tom Holland's going to knock it out. Robert Pattinson, who always knocks it out of the park, post Twilight. Tony, he has done other things. What a year for Robert Pattinson, by the way. Batman and Tenet that'll release sometime in the next 10 years. And now The Devil All the Time. This movie looks great. The performances look great. Like I said, the trailer didn't get me going on what the actual storyline is going to be just because I'm not into those kind of films. But I'll watch it for the acting alone. Just the acting I saw in the trailer got me hyped. The tension that they were doing.
Accents actually sound pretty decent for like the southern thing they're going for.
I mean,
they're a little thick.
You got all these European actors and British actors that are doing these southern accents. So it's definitely intriguing me.
Well, I'm not sure how true it is, but there's like a theory that the southern accent is actually closest to the original British accent. Oh. I don't know how that was from a voice coach. I don't know how true that is, but so you know how we all talk up in here is apparently how the Brits used to talk way back when, which is hilarious. Oh. I want to see some old school British set something back like in the 1600s with some Appalachian accents. That's what I want.
Daniel, go ahead.
I just want to tell you that. Do y'all remember the movie? What was the movie about the lady that made the pie and it was a bad pie? What was that?
The Help.
The Help?
You're talking
Okay,
about
the vocal coach from The Help actually came to my office when I worked in Jackson, and
Oh,
I
really?
was one of the Southern voices that they used to study a Southern dialect. So
Your
I don't know.
voice?
Yeah, I was well. The guys that was in the movie, they
Yeah.
studied my voice, which
Is
is
that a
Wow.
compliment?
the Southern. Yeah, I met with a dialogue coach for like 2 hours, and she had a tape recorder. It was crazy. But anyways,
Neat.
Trivia.
Matt, when you said Tenet might come out the next 10 years or so, my first thought was it's now a race between what comes out first, Tenet or the next Avatar.
Yes.
The Avatar sequel that was supposed to come out in 2014?
Yeah.
And then 2015 and 16 and 17 and 18 and 19.
So if you all are just joining us, our comments are actually working. We will get all those posted up here as we go along. At the end of the show, we're going to take some fan questions. So be thinking about some questions you might want to ask us. We're going to move on to our next topic of a discussion, which might get a little heated here. Disney's Mulan, since it couldn't release in the theater, is actually going to release on Disney Plus. And if you have a Disney Plus service that you already pay for, they're requiring you to pay $29.99. And with all of our research, if you pay for the movie, you're actually going to get to hold on to the movie as long as you have Disney Plus. So it's not like you have to keep paying for it. Thank you, Bethany, for the deep research on that. If that comes out to be false, blame Bethany. But
blame the news article that I read.
So we asked ourselves the question: Are you about to pay $29.99 to watch Mulan? So we're going to start with Tony.
No. I mean, first, I'm not a fan of all these remakes of the original cartoon stuff turned into live action. I don't enjoy. I keep feeling like they just go back to the well over and over and over, and they can't come up with anything new. I know they make money. I know people go and watch it, but it just kind of gets tiresome. To me, watching the trailer for it, I didn't look at it and go, "Ooh, I want to go see that." In the first place, I do have kids. They'll probably push to want to see it, but the reason I got Disney Plus was that it would have all of these movies on it. So at first, when I saw that they were charging $29.99, I was like, I kind of feel like I just got robbed. I mean, I thought if I got this, we would see the Disney movies, but it makes sense. It's like if a movie came out at the theater, you still got to wait 6 months before they're going to release it free, or not free, but available to stream. So my guess is they're going to make their money off of it for half a year or so, even on the people that have paid for Disney Plus, and then they'll release it free to Disney Plus, and then we'll probably watch it then. So.
Yeah, so I'm in that same boat. I guess it would just depend on the movie down the line if I was actually going to pay $30, because we all had a movie pass. We all paid $18 a month and we went to the theaters. My big thing is I don't like watching movies at my house. I really don't. I love going to the movie theaters. I love having that whole movie experience. And we're going to talk about Meridian getting an upgrade here later, which is going to make me want to go to the theater even more. So I'm going to hold off on it as long as I possibly can without actually paying for a movie. $30, I might pay $30 for the right movie. But I'm not going to pay $30 to watch Mulan. It's just not my cup of tea. I didn't like the cartoon. And I'm not going to watch the live action movie. I might not even watch it when it's released. I'm the worst person to ask about this, just because Mulan has never intrigued me. But if I was going to talk about another movie that I might really, really want to see, I still would probably hold off as long as I possibly could till we force theaters to open back up. Bethany?
So I don't pay for my Disney Plus account. I share an account with a friend. Hey, Mare. Love you. That's my aunt. I share my account with my friend, and who graciously lets me, use hers. And so it wouldn't be me paying for it, but I would, if I really want to see this movie. I've been looking forward to Mulan, even though it doesn't have the songs, I'm sure to have instrumental versions of the songs. They've added a lot of characters. They've changed characters. I lost my train of thought reading a comment. I'm excited for it. It's supposed to be a more historically accurate retelling that's closer to the original legend or story of Mulan. So I would be sending. It's not thievery, Darby. It's shared. I would probably send her the $30 for it, but I also know the NSA. Please turn off your microphones. I know the hacks. I know how to get around that stuff. I know certain websites to go to, so that is an option if you wanted to stream it, quote unquote, illegally or legally. There's ways around it, but it also depends, like, how safe is that going to be? It could seriously harm your device. You could actually, like, go to jail, because you remember the old commercials on VHSs that were like, you wouldn't download a pizza. I would download a pizza in a heartbeat if I could, okay? But $30, it's a lot. Now, to be fair, I mean, you're getting unlimited rentals, watches with that. When you look at Trolls World Tour that came out earlier this year, the first movie that really got the first, like, it's supposed to be released in theater movie that got the big streaming release, they did it $20 a rental. So you watch it one time, your kids want to watch it 3, 4, 5 more times, that's $20 more every single time. Mulan is giving you the option, or Disney is giving you the option to one and done. I mean, you get to watch it as much as you want as long as you have a Disney Plus account. You cancel that subscription, that movie is gone. Theoretically, the assumption is that once you renew your subscription, Mulan will still be there because you paid for it. Now, they could do the thing that Apple does, where if Apple loses the rights to sell that movie in iTunes, then even if you bought the movie through Apple can just take it away and say, well, no, you bought the right to stream it while we had it. You didn't actually buy the movie. And in which case it's like, well, why did I buy this? Why didn't I just buy the DVD or buy it somewhere else where I can put it on, like, Movies Anywhere or Vudu or whatever that's called now. So, it's a whole thing. I think I would pay for it.
You'd let your pay for it?
Huh? My friend would pay for it. I would send her the $30. Be like, hey, here you go. Buy yourself something cute. I'm actually just reimbursing you. But yeah, so I don't know if every movie, this is going to be like a big, like, test run for production companies, because if this works, I think we might see a lot more companies going this route, with how many movies are delayed because of COVID. And I mean, if this works out for Disney, this is how we're going to be seeing Black Widow in November.
Yeah,
it's already been delayed. That's how it's going to come out.
All right.
So
doing a little stuttering.
I'm back.
She's back.
Okay, I'm back. I was like, wait, and y'all were just like staring for so long. I was like, did I freeze? But yeah, so, like, if this works, that's how we're going to see Black Widow, and that's probably how we'll see Wonder Woman. And, that's not how we'll see Tenet, because Chris Nolan is, like, committed to that movie getting a theatrical release. But, this is going to be a big test for them to see how it does. And if it performs, that's going to be another, chip away at movie theaters. And Hi, Sharon. Josh Gressett. That's what happens when you promote movie piracy. The NSA tried to take me out, but I'm still here, holding it down.
So,
all right, Daniel, what do you think?
Oh, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to be one of those November the 13th people, because that's when it comes out on Disney Plus for everyone.
And where did you see that, Daniel? I saw you say that earlier, and I haven't seen that.
I looked it up. I can send the link, but I looked it up because I was just like, dude, I'm not doing that. I mean, because, if you buy it, you pay $30, and then November the 13th hits, you just lost $30 because you can see it all day long, just like everyone else. I mean, what's
to counter that, why go to the movies and watch a movie?
Right.
Well,
if it's going to be out in 6 months.
Well,
I mean, but see, I think Tony had
Well, take into fact, traveling to the movie theater, buying your ticket, any snacks you get, anything like that, like it ends up equaling
that's
out.
an experience. But see, like Matt says, it's an experience. Like Tony said, when I go to the movies, I'm a single person. I can pay $7 and I'm out of there. I'm not. I'm paying $30. It's crazy, but you're right. You're gonna pay for food and all that stuff, and the whole experience, which it might be worth it for somebody, but to me, it's not worth it for me. I'll just see it when it comes out. I'm happy. I'm good.
The stretches with Disney, and it makes sense with Disney because mostly Disney has kids movies. So for 2-3 kids, hey, it makes sense to spend $30.
Totally. Yeah.
For a single person who might go see Tenet or might go see Black Widow, that's not necessarily a kids movie. That's going to be a hard stretch to go. I'm going to lay out $30.
Yeah.
As much as I like a movie, I'm not going to, especially if I could wait 4 months, 3 months, 6 months, and then have it for free and can watch it as many times as I want. Then it's a hard sell for me to think if I was a single person, I was going to spend that money.
Yeah. I guess my thing with it is that it ends up being kind of the same thing as going to see it in a theater. Like, sure, you don't have the the theatrical experience of it, but it's the same concept ideally as you're not going to see a movie in theaters because it's too expensive that way, and then waiting for it to come out on TV or anything. To me, it kind of ends up being the same thing. I mean, if September 30th rolls up, that's when it's getting released, right? September 30th. Whenever that rolls around, we'll do a one-woman show, and it will be me reviewing Mulan. All the spoilers.
Yes, all the spoilers.
Do you expect that one to be spoiler-free? Like, it's already come out before, technically, even if it's like a retelling that's more historically accurate. We'll do a one-woman show.
All right. We're going to move on to our next topic here. So, $29.99 Disney Plus Mulan, if that's what you want to watch. So, our next topic.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
1 second. I was wondering who was beeping through. See, Alexa heard piracy. She came right on, Bethany.
I'm going to say, Alexa, tell me a joke.
Yeah, I just turned her off. So, all right. So, Zac Effron has been tapped to star in the new 3 Men and a Baby remake. So, Daniel, tell us your thoughts on this.
Well, I'm not too excited about this. I don't know. I mean, I guess Zac Efron's amazing. He's a great actor. He's a childhood heartthrob for all the young ladies in the world and whoever loves Zac Efron. But I don't know. I'm just not a big I'm not a big fan of remakes in general. I want like all original movies. Like there's so many ideas and creativity in this world. Like I want new movies. Like I don't want remakes ever. If there was never a remake, I would be completely happy with that. Remakes are just an excuse to grab back into that bag of cash and pull out a wad of cash. And other than that, it's just a complete waste of time because I've already seen the movie.
The sequel series.
That's just me, though. That's just my opinion. Yeah.
So this was my first thought when I first heard about this. It's like if you cast Taylor Swift in an older role or Tom Holland in an older role to play a parent. I'm never going to think of that as an actual parent. I've grown up with Zac Efron from the High School Musical movies. I don't see Zac Efron playing a dad at all. I saw the original 3 Men and a Baby a long time ago.
To be fair, he's 32 years old. He could play a dad.
I just don't see him playing the role of a dad. It would look weird. He still looks like
child.
That college young. He looks like he'd play.
Have you seen him in his new show on Netflix? Because
he looks like he could play a high schooler. I mean, if Channing Tatum could play a high schooler, he could still play a high schooler.
Channing Tatum cannot realistically play a high schooler.
He did it in 21 Jump Street. The dude was like 30 years old playing a high schooler.
That was the point of the movie, is that like they were so blatantly not high schoolers. They didn't know how to fit in. That was the point.
Here's the thing. 3 Men and a Baby. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think
Put
it's
your brother's comment up, Matt. Put your brother's comment up.
I don't think Three Men and a Baby is the kind of movie where Zac Efron's crowd of people who would watch a Zac Efron movie are really going to enjoy the movie at all. I mean, it's literally just three guys trying to take care of a baby. I don't think it's going to be funny. I don't find Zac Efron very funny. I don't when he tries to be comedic. I like him playing the more serious type or his singing type, but not a comedic type. He's just not a comedian. I'm waiting for them to cast Seth Rogen to be in this too. I'm sure it's coming. But that's a hard no for me. Tony?
That's all we want to do is add drug use to it. That's going to be great.
I'm sure there will be. I'm sure the baby will get into some sort of
It's
drug.
coming out on Disney. It's a Disney Plus movie, guys. It's streaming on Disney Plus.
I can only imagine.
That's the whole thing is because Zac Efron is finally coming back to Disney. Also, people in the comments are agreeing with me. So who's right? Who's wrong?
They added Seth Rogen to it.
Yeah,
they're not adding Seth Rogen.
Actually, the top comment for the devil all the time on YouTube was somebody with Disney saying you can't show Tom Holland smoking a cigarette.
So,
go ahead, Tony.
So for me, I try to think back on 3 Men and a Baby. I'm old enough to have seen that. I remember Tom Selleck. I remember the guy that was in all the police academies. What was his name? It was one of the other guys.
Tom Selleck, Steve Guttenberg, and Ted Danson.
Yeah.
So
Steve Guttenberg.
It's not even enough of a memory for me to even remember the cast that well. So I don't think it was that great when it came out. And what probably sold it was just they had at the time two of the more handsome men and Guttenberg, which was probably the comedy side of it. So they're probably going to try and bring in some lookers for this, but I just don't think it was that great then. I don't think it's going to be that great now. I actually like Zach. I liked him in The Greatest Showman. Wasn't he? That was
yes.
He did a great role.
Can I say that?
I'm not a big fan of early musical stuff, but so I'm not too excited. I'm in the camp with Daniel. I don't like the idea of going back and just remaking. It almost feels like of creativity.
Don't take it back now, Darby. Don't take it back. Go ahead, Daniel.
Daniel, what do you want to say?
I just want to say the big joke is the baby pees on him. Wow. I mean, if you've seen the original.
All right, so Tony says it wasn't that good the year it came out. I've never seen this movie, by the way. It's a shock of no one. It's from 1987.
You weren't even born, bro.
Exactly. This movie was the biggest American box office hit for 1987. It grossed $167 million in the United States and Canada and $240 million worldwide. It won the 1988 People's Choice Award for Favorite Comedy Motion Picture. It's based off a French movie.
90% of the people who went saw it were females.
Yeah, sure. And that's what's good. Those are the people that are going to go see this. Darby can't take back his agreement for arguing with me. He agreed with me. Don't take that back, Darby. Second of all, I think y'all are hating and dogging on this movie, and y'all don't know nothing about this movie yet. Y'all are just dogging on it.
We've seen the original. You really go.
I don't care. I don't have to have seen the original. A remake can be better than the original. They can do something better.
Bethany, you have to admit, remakes usually aren't better.
Usually aren't, but you gotta give it a chance. Good night. Zac Efron's great. Also, I looked at the cast. Steve Guttenberg was the youngest at about 30 years old. Tom Selleck and Ted Danson were 40, 42. Zac Efron's 32. It works. He does not look
comedic relief, and that's not good.
He doesn't have to play the comedic relief. You all don't realize having people his age, this day and age have babies now, have kids now. Who says it's his baby? They're gonna find it's Disney. It's 2020. They're gonna find some weird thing to do with the baby, or how the baby got there, or the roles. And I mean, y'all are just dedicated to hating on stuff tonight. And I'm gonna fight. I'm fighting on all of these topics tonight. I don't even care if I agree with y'all on something. I'm fighting tonight.
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun movie.
All right. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to our next
That
topic.
was a good. Wait, go back to Royan's comment. Do you think
Where'd it
Disney
go?
is trying to remake this because it did so well and they need a win? What do y'all think?
Because
It's
it
a
did
money
so well,
grab.
they need a win. Well, Disney doesn't really need a win. Disney wins all
Is
the
it
time.
well? Disney lost like a ton of money this year because of COVID.
Well, I mean, they spent the last 3 years making more money than any other studio in
Ungodly
history.
amounts of money. Of course, they're a behemoth. But Josh Gressett says it could be the same vibe as 21 Jump Street, which was a fun movie.
I love Joni. If it's the same vibe as 21 Jump Street, I'll get on board. But the best three men. Yes, mom.
Yeah,
That's my mom right there.
Good.
She wins. Just watch The Hangover. We'll do that.
Unless they take this baby to Vegas and they try and
The
combine.
Hangover is not that great.
Oh, we're gonna fight about that. Okay, we'll have a whole fight about that one day.
Okay.
Good one.
Okay.
All right,
We can
so-
fight. We can fight.
We're
Square
gonna
up,
move
man.
on to another topic for this evening. This we live in Meridian, Mississippi, and
Docked us then.
the theater needed a bit of upgrade, so it is actually getting an upgrade, being bought out. So we're not going to spend too much time on this. We just wanted to. It was part of our movie news here. So, Bethany, how do you feel about a movie upgrade, seeing as how you worked in the previous movie theater?
Yes, I worked in the Bonita Lakes Roy United Artist 9 something or other. It was like a 17-word long name that we called it. Everyone called it something different. I worked there for 5 years, so if I look a little bit familiar, that's where you've seen me from. I'm excited about it just because working there, I know the quality of the theater and there's a lot of stuff that people don't realize what's going on with that theater, but other people do realize. And so I have like the behind the scenes scoop. We've all actually known about our theater at least being closed for about 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
I still have my connections, and they told me about it, and then I told these guys, and so we've all been kind of waiting. There's actually a question that came up in one of our earlier streams, and we were all like tap dancing around it because we didn't want to get anyone in trouble. But then this news came out last week about Golden Ticket Cinemas taking over the movie theater for Meridian, Mississippi. And I'm excited about it. I'm curious about it as well. I did a little bit of research on Golden Ticket Cinemas. As far as I can tell, they have 7 theaters across the country currently. They're not a regional thing. They seem to just go in and find closed down theaters like ours or an AMC or anything like that and renovate them and reopen them to the public under their own branding. So it will not be a Regal theater. So if you have that Regal Unlimited pass, it no longer is going to work. I got the email the other day about they're going to start charging our accounts again, but in the app it says my next charge date is not until October. I'm going to try to get it canceled on the basis of the closest Regal is over an hour away, and I just don't have the time to commute that far realistically all the time to watch movies and warrant still, paying for that pass. And if they don't let me out of it, I guess I'll fist fight Regal because I worked for them for 5 years and they've got some BS going on. But no, I'm excited about it. I think, we're long overdue for upgrades. That movie theater is about as old as I am, and I will be 26 this year. And it was in dire need of some upgrades. And there's supposed to be luxury seating, which will actually cut the theaters in half size-wise. So the biggest auditorium seated 300 or so people. That's going to get cut down to about 150 seats, which theoretically would encourage people to. How Phil's found Facebook. He left YouTube. It will encourage people to go see the movie because the movies are going to sell out much faster now. So it could be good. It could be a good thing unless movie theaters just don't recover from COVID and with streaming and everything. And my concern with it because it's such a small chain is I mean, what movies are they going to be getting? Are we only going to be getting big movies and not slightly smaller ones that we didn't always get with our theater because it was a smaller Regal? But, I like to see some of the weirder, out of the way movies. And if we're not going to be getting those, it's kind of a bummer because, again, I have the around the about way of getting to see movies. I know how to do that, but I don't always want to do that. I want to, give money to these people that are, making these smaller company budget movies and encourage them to keep doing this and being creative so we don't get constant remakes like we were talking about with Mulan and 3 Minute Baby. Remakes are fun sometimes, but hey, Matt, put that comment up from Sharon. It's going to have assigned seating, which if you've been to some of the theaters in Hattiesburg, you pick where you want to sit and all that kind of stuff. So if that's true, it'll be interesting because we've never done that in Meridian.
Yeah.
So,
Daniel, what do you think?
Well, I was just going to say I've got a few requirements for what I would like. I would like
Daniel,
reserved seating.
So the assigned seating, would be reserved seating.
That's great. I want them to serve beer. I want them to serve wine, and I want them to serve pizza and hamburgers and like popcorn and French fries and like things that you could not get at the old movie theater. If we can get all those things, I will be there religiously. I will support it. I'll love it. I mean, even if we can't get it, I'll still be there and support it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, give us some of these amenities that you can get, like at a theater in Hattiesburg or Tuscaloosa or somewhere like that, because that's where I'm going to watch movies now. Because they got what I want. I mean, they got all the amenities that you want.
So that seems to be one of the things in the press release that came out, or the news article that came out the other week from our local news, was that they were going to be expanding our concessions menu. I don't remember if they said anything about alcohol, but I think some of their locations do serve alcohol in other places around the country. I'd have to look back into that. And I mean, they could do it. Brian brings up a good point, how they enforce that for horror movies. If you've ever worked in a movie theater, you know how notoriously crazy horror movies are on release weekends and how many kids you have to deal with sneaking in. So, Tony?
Yeah, Tony, what do you think?
I'm sorry. I just want to say one thing, and I'm one of those people. I drink like one beer and I'm done. So I mean, I'm not.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like the most harmless person there is. So
Daniel's not getting sloshed before this movie.
No.
Well, Tony, I'm a dad. I bring kids to the movies. So even though you're a good guy and you only drink one and don't get sloshed, I don't want my kids around somebody who is getting sloshed.
Yeah.
At a movie. So I think that opens up all kinds of things that need to be considered, from a liability standpoint, from a family friendly standpoint. I'm all for the extended menu. The one in Jackson sells all kinds of cool stuff from a menu standpoint. So I think that's great. I'd love stadium seating that we don't have. I'd love an IMAX theater to go with it. Some of the larger theaters, we'll drive to Tuscaloosa just to see a big movie in an IMAX. I mean, we'll do the extra. I'll pay extra to have that experience. I won't pay to have it at the house. I will pay. I'll go for the experience. So it's like I'm excited if it's something they bring, where they bring the stadium seating and things like that. We'll just have to see.
Usually with luxury seating, there is a bit of a stadium aspect to it because of how big the seats are. So we should be getting some of that slope in there to where shouldn't be, if you end up sitting behind a tall person, you should be, and you're like me who's short, you should be able to see over them.
Might have done that a few times, Josh, just before. But, no, I think this is great. I worked in a Malco for 4.5 years, and then when I got to Meridian, I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work for me. It worked for as long as it possibly could, so I'm excited. Just upgrade the seats, make sure that the projector is not dim when you're trying to watch a movie, especially when it gets dark and you can't see anything.
Replace the air conditioning units.
Yeah, just upgrade some of the things about the theater, and you won't get much harp out of me. I'm going to go watch movies in a theater no matter where it is. I would like to see them dedicate one theater to your indie type films, so I don't have to drive all over the place to try and find them. Just dedicate just one theater to those indie movies and just keep them rotating. They don't have to be there forever. Just keep them in rotation. Alrighty, going through here some of these comments here.
Yeah, Jamie said, well, they will have food and alcohol in part 2 of the Renovier, but a beer will be about $10 each. And Jamie says, I would assume the alcohol purchase will have a limit of like 3.
Well, can I just say this too? I don't
Yeah,
think
Daniel.
they'll have any. I don't think the theater will have any problem kicking somebody out. I mean, because they kick you out if you're on your phone or if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. So, you know, I think that like the staff is usually like on top of everything, and you know, and they have to be, you know, and I think that as long as they hold their standard, which I have no doubt they would, I don't see the problem. I mean,
Sharon seems to have all the inside information in here. She says it's going to be a 2-drink limit. Sharon, hit me up. Give me the details, okay? We need to know.
Thanks for the info, Sharon. We're going to move on to our next topic here. It is Blockbuster came back from the dead on Twitter yesterday for their first tweet since 2014. And they came back long enough to say that they're the last Blockbuster in America, which is in Oregon, is now being turned into an Airbnb. And they're asking, would anybody like to stay at an Airbnb for a weekend? So we're going to go to Daniel first, since he's got the background there. Daniel,
Daniel's actually coming to us live from the Airbnb right now. He booked that.
Yeah. See, there's a bed here, and there's like a Blockbuster. You can sleep outside under the stars, underneath that yellow sun right there. It's glorious. I'm excited about this. I want to book a plane ticket. You know, I mean, I've got so many friends that worked at Blockbuster, and the people that I really care about in my life that I've known. They're, you know, Blockbuster family, and I think it's a great company. I hate that it went away. I mean, I wish it was open now. Like we had one on North Hill Street when I was younger, and it was amazing. I loved going in there. It was such a great experience. You could go in there and get all the popcorn and like the movie time food, and you know, hang out with your friends and cruise the movies, and you go home with an awesome movie. And to me, that was sort of an experience, kind of like going to the movie theater. I have really fond memories of Blockbuster, so I hope they come back in some form like this. I think it's cool.
So, yes, this is an absolute yes for me. I would definitely stay in Blockbuster. I remember Friday nights we would go. Me, my brother, and my sister. We'd each pick out a movie. You'd grab that movie theater popcorn. We'd all go home, watch the movies that we picked. Just being in Blockbuster was an experience, like Daniel said. Just like going to the movies, you're going there to try and see where if they have your movie. That gut punching feeling when they didn't have your movie in. Yes, that did happen back then. And then when you get the movie and somebody didn't rewind it, yes, I am old enough to remember VHS tapes at Blockbuster. So
be kind, rewind.
Yeah. I would definitely pay to stay in Blockbuster for a weekend. Just give me the bed. Let me go pick out whatever movies I want to see. I'll pop them in. I'll stay there. I'll pay you whatever you want just for the entire experience. This is a great thing for me. Bethany?
So I'm a little young for Blockbuster. Like they still existed when I was a kid, but we didn't really go to them. And then like they were kind of on their way out by the time I was a teenager. The only time I remember going to one was with my friends, and we rented. It was a movie like called Bunshin Saba. I think it was a Korean like horror movie. I think it was Korean horror movie, and we were just like, that's just all I remember from it. I think it'd be neat though. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of people going. I think rentals on that place will, you know, sell out fast. I think a lot of people go for the nostalgia experience. So I think it's neat, but I don't really have an opinion on it for once in my life, I guess.
All right, Tony.
I'm a kid of the 80s and 90s. I would take a road trip right now to go stay there. And what I'm envisioning is you walk in and all the rows of movies are there, and they've got this tricked out movie screen where you can pop the stuff in and you have access to any movie you want to watch while you're staying there. That to me would be amazing. And to do it in a Blockbuster, I think they're on to something there. That's having a place you can stay and have access to thousands of movies that you can pop in and watch. And for us that are older, that grew up with Blockbuster and it was the way you saw movies, I know what Matthew was saying about walking down the aisles, going and looking for, and you're going down the lines like Then you go up to the desk. Do you all have Die Hard? And they're like,
no, I never asked that question.
So yeah, I would literally take a road trip right now and go do it. So
now I do remember like movie galleries. We hit a movie gallery all the time, which is the same thing as Blockbuster, but more or less. But yeah, I remember that was more my speed. I've only been in Blockbuster like once or twice.
All right, guys. So those were the topics that we were going through. We're just going to kind of spitfire on a few things. We want you guys to ask questions over here now. Now's the time to ask some questions because we're going to answer them for the next 20 minutes or until Betty and I duke it out and I throw her off the stream.
Hell, he can't kick me off the stream. He knows that Power Rangers 2017 is the best movie of all time.
Yeah. So while we get some questions coming in, Tony, tell us how you're doing hip-wise. How all that.
So I've had this new titanium hip for, I think, right at about a month and 5 or 10 days. That first week, I'm not kidding you, was not fun. It was tough. But I got to using a walker and then to a cane, and now I'm walking with nothing. I'm probably 85, 90% back. The reason I did it is completely fixed. Now it's just waiting for the surgery part to heal. And I feel like I'm going to be back 100%. And like, you don't even know it's been done. Several times I've been doing something and then forgot that I even had it done. So, I mean, you'll do something and it'll remind you. But there have been several times where I've done something and it's like, oh, okay, I forgot I had a hip replacement here. But so it's a lot of people were saying you'd get surgery like that done and within, 6 months, it's like you never had a problem. And it really feels like it's going to be like that. So, yeah, it's been going good. And
Are you back at work now, Tony? Or
yeah, I mean, our group, because most of what we can do is based on computer. I do a lot of web development and things like that, so I can work from home. But I do come in whenever Matt needs an extra hand for videography things. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a few questions popping in here. We're going to wait till Darby is a guest on the show again, and we're going to argue this one out because I watched some of Arrow and I've never seen Punisher. Daniel, any thoughts?
Well, I mean, Arrow to me is like an acquired taste. Like I love John Scott Barrowman. I think he's fantastic. He was great in Doctor Who. I like the whole bow and arrow stuff. Like in this context, and I think it's great. I mean, as far as like Marvel goes, I'm not a big fan of it. That guy. But to me, it's a good movie. It's a melodrama. It gets boring, but The Arrow, I mean, it's one of those shows that you want to fill up some time. I mean, there's plenty of shows to watch and it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. But to me, man, let me tell you, Netflix Punisher is like the bomb diggity. I mean, you can't get any better than that. To me, it's almost kind of like those Sherlock Holmes movies where they're like, I mean, it's like made as a movie and it's special and it's unique. You don't get bored. It's not melodramatic. It's good. So, I mean, to me, I have to disagree with that. The Punisher is 1,000 million times better than Arrow any day. But I do love Arrow, so I'm not knocking that, please.
Suck it, Darby.
All right, so Josh, tell us what you mean by blind spots. I think I know what you mean, but just tell us what you're exactly talking about as we go here to this next question. Best movie of the decade. I believe we've already talked about this once in an earlier show that we did.
Yeah, one of our taped shows, I think.
I'll go first.
I think
My it's absolutely The Cabin in the Woods. It blew me away. I did not see it coming at all. It's from two of my favorites, Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard. It just flipped everything on its head. Just one of the best movies that I've seen in a long time. It's in my top 10 movies of all time, and it's the best movie of the last decade. Tony, Daniel, Bethany, anyone would jump in?
Trying to remember what we picked for that.
I don't remember what I picked, but I know Ready or Not was in my top 3. So I'm just gonna say that one because I adored that movie. I talk about the movie all the time on these shows lately. So if you haven't seen Ready or Not, I definitely recommend going to see that. The next time Hayden Christensen makes a movie, that will be my top movie of all time. Because Revenge of the Sith is my top movie. But the next time Hayden Christensen has one come out,
And I
Tony,
said
Daniel, do you guys remember one?
Princess Bride, but that was the 80s.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Is that
No,
what
of
you're saying?
last
Of all-
decade.
of 2010 to 2019.
I think I
Let me
said
look up what I wrote down. I'm sorry.
Cheating.
I said Forrest Gump for the 90s.
Yeah, that one's in 90s, but
I mean, and again, you got to understand the context for me. I lived, from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and I remember when I went and saw I went and saw a movie that did a trailer for Forrest Gump, and I came home and told my wife. She's like, "How was the movie?" I was like, "Oh, it was all right," but man, I saw this trailer for something that rolls through history, and I could tell even from the trailer how epic it was going to be. They had amazing cinematography in it. I'm still mad at Janae. It's like, when someone gets you mad, it's like for the story. So for me, I think it was Forrest Gump.
all right. We'll let Daniel look that up here. I'm going to pop up this next one. There's a few questions in here from Tim. Favorite movie soundtrack and scores, actors you love, actors you hate, and same with directors. I'll answer this real fast as everybody else tries to think because I know all of my answers for this. The best movie soundtrack of all time is E.T. I won't hear any other arguments about it. E.T. is definitely the best movie soundtrack. Jurassic Park would probably be second for me. Actors I love, Leonardo DiCaprio is my favorite actor. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is up there. Christian Bale is great, but Leonardo DiCaprio would be my favorite actor. Actors I hate, there's not a whole lot of people I hate. There's people that I guess I don't like many movies that they're in. I can't really think off the top of my head of somebody that I absolutely hate. I'm not a fan of Amy Schumer. I don't like her comedy. If you want to call her an actor, I'm just not a fan of hers at all. Director.
I cannot stand her.
My favorite director would be Christopher Nolan, but Josh Whedon is right there because he did Buffy. Those are right there, 1 and 2. Director I hate everything he touches, and that is Shane Black. From Predator to Iron Man 3 to The Nice Guys, everything Shane Black touches, he should stop right now. So those are my answers for that. Anybody else got some answers for that?
Favorite movie soundtrack scores, Revenge of the Sith. I listen to that thing all the time. That one is amazing. The Lion King soundtrack is amazing. The Pocahontas soundtrack is amazing. Not the songs. The songs are good. I'm talking about the score on those ones. Even though I said soundtrack, I meant score. Hans Zimmer, for The Lion King, crazy. And then Alan Menken, who did Pocahontas. It's beautiful. Actors you love. John Bernthal. No, I like a lot of actors besides the 3 men I talk about on here constantly. John Bernthal, Hayden Christensen, Tom Hardy, actresses Samara Weaving, Mila Kunis. I can't even. My mind goes blank on these types of things. Actors I hate. Jennifer Lawrence.
Really?
Not talented. And the whole gimmick of I'm not like other girls. I like to eat pizza and I scratch my butt on rocks. Almost calls a rock spot. No. I can't stand her.
Silver Linings Playbook. She was good in that.
Yeah. I liked her in Silver Linings Playbook. Daniel, do you have any?
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm gonna walk away from that topic.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Daniel. You're good. I'm done. Go ahead.
No. Okay. So I've got so many favorite movies I could list as my favorite movie, but I'm gonna go with two. I'm gonna say probably for me, just recently, one off the top of my head is Hereditary. I love that movie. It's scary. It shook me to the core. And look, the soundtrack. Yeah, I think it's literally one of the best soundtracks ever. If you listen to that music and you're anywhere doing anything, you're going to be creeped out because that soundtrack is insanity and the movie is insanity. And my favorite director is probably Christopher Nolan as well. I love all the alien stuff. I want to see more of that. I'm a huge fan of that. And I want to see more. And he's got this new thing coming out. What was the name of it? Oh my God, that's going to be insane.
Talk about Tenet?
No, what's the thing that we looked at the trailer earlier the week? It's some alien planet. What was that? It's like a Nolan. Does anybody know what the name of that is? It's like a Nolan movie that's coming out like soon.
Are you sure?
It's like on HBO or something. It's not coming out of theater, of course, but God, I can't think of it. I hate
you
myself.
think about that,
Foundation trailer that's coming
Okay,
out.
I'll get it.
Tony?
What is it? Oh, okay.
The Foundation trailer we watched, but I don't know if Christopher Nolan was attached to that. So,
I'm gonna look that up because I know we talked about it, and I'm gonna tell y'all in just a second.
yeah.
Tony, you got some answers?
Any Hans Zimmer. I mean, I love all the Star Wars. I love all those. Like she said, Revenge of the Sith has an amazing soundtrack to it. For me, I enjoyed. Again, I go back to the movie with Tom Hanks. What I call it, Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump actually has a nice ranging soundtrack that goes through all the different decades. If you've ever listened to it, it's a pretty cool soundtrack to listen to. I go back to something fun like Guardian of the Galaxies as a really fun soundtrack. If you like those kinds of things, just because it goes back to some of the old things too. So I'm older. I kind of lean towards some of that stuff from the older days. Actors, I think. Who's the guy that was in the movie that you like so much, Matt? That had
Welcome to Tony's mind here.
yeah. Hey, I've been doing code all day on a website. I'm tired.
Well, Tony thinks of that actor. I just want to point out, we can't see, like on Facebook, like the comments where we can see them. We can't see when you actually reply to each other, but I just checked Facebook because I saw Matt's mom comment Cabin in the Woods. And it's in response to what is the stupidest movie you ever watched.
Yeah.
So I thought that was hilarious because Matt loves that movie.
I do.
Who gets chewed up by the bear?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm sorry, because through his career, how he's kind of grown and then matured into what he is now. You were talking about watching Zach as he kind of came up through his career. Mm-hmm. I think back about Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's done some start from where he started to where he's grown now to what he's doing. I've been really impressed with as far as an actor. Actors I hate. Who's the guy that starred in Batman?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale is someone I don't like. I don't get him. Really? I don't like his style. I mean, yeah, he was in The Dark Knight. That was a great movie.
And you loved Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, and I did. And he didn't act like Christian. That was a different character for him, for me at least. So in that way, he kind of stood out. But I look back through his movie career and I look at some of the stuff, and I haven't been a big fan of his. All right,
so we're going to do
for directors. Matt can tell you who the director I hate the most is.
Who is it?
He likes to be in every movie he produces.
Oh, he's talking about Quentin Tarantino. He hates Tarantino.
Oh my God,
that makes sense.
I'm not a Tarantino fan. So
can I say one thing?
I'm not a fan of his gratuitous violence. I mean, and it's very rare I see a movie his that there are certain parts of movies he does I think are great, and then he just goes off the deep end for some of the stuff that's It just gets way too. It's almost like I'm in the movie, and then did you really have to hit the guy and show me that hitting the guy in the head with the bat? Now I'm out of the movie, and I'm shocked because you showed that. And it's like he does things for shock value instead of story value. So for me as a director, out of all that I see, I think I like him the least. So
all right, Daniel.
I just want to say this. If you get a chance, look it up. It's a movie called Raised by Wolves. It's a Ridley Scott movie.
Oh, okay.
September the 3rd on HBO Max. It's going to be freaking amazing. Like, I'm just saying, I can't wait for that.
All right. So we've got a whole bunch of questions here. So we're going to go through a speed round real fast. All right. I'm going to throw them up here. We're going to go through a speed round. All right. So thoughts on new Saw series Spiral, the one with Chris Rock?
I'm interested.
I'm very interested as well. I love the first Saw, and hopefully it goes back to its roots.
Never watched a single one of them.
Oh, of course not. Daniel?
I haven't seen Saw either. I'm just interested in this. It looks good.
Yeah. If it's the same old song and dance, I will hate it. But if it's something new, I'll love it. That's all I can say.
All right. Since football is now canceled, moved to the spring for most conferences, Do you have a favorite football movie? Mine's The Replacements. Do y'all have one?
Remember the Titans or The Blind Side?
Yeah.
We Are Marshall is also really good.
Rudy's good. Rudy's good.
Yeah.
Favorite show that you feel got canceled before it was really given a chance despite its potential? Probably Firefly. I would think Firefly.
Yep. There's a show called Carnival, which was an HBO show. It got canceled like in the 3rd season. They had to wrap it up quick. Great show. I love that. It had like a mystical power kind of carnival setting with like, religion and carnival and magic, and it was good, but they canceled it quickly, so it never got to see it how it should have came out. So.
All right.
Firefly for sure.
What is your favorite movie that's based on a true story where the actors play real people?
Ooh.
First one I can think of off the top of my head is Ford versus Ferrari. We all pretty much loved that movie when it came out last year. That's the first one I can think of. I'm sure there's others that I like more, but that's just the top of my head.
Yeah, that was my movie of the year last year for me.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting story I didn't know the whole scope of. So
yeah.
There's a good one. Dallas Buyers Club.
With Matthew McConaughey, Jared Leto.
Yeah, to me that was a phenomenal movie. The acting was just out of this world, really good.
Yeah.
I'm completely blanking on that. I will definitely come back with a good answer for that. I'm just completely blanking.
Die Hard, a real story, right?
Yeah.
What'd you say? Die Hard again? Blind spots, like a certain genre or era or director or something you're interested in but haven't dove into yet. Like I'm intrigued by Studio Ghibli, but just haven't watched any of them yet. So something that just interests you that you haven't gotten into yet.
I would say those types of movies, or really like just anime. Like I've never.
Yeah.
Like I think it's really cool, and the art's like insane, and I just never gotten into it. Like foreign films. Like I watch movies with subtitles all the time, so it's not a problem for me. It's just I've never dove head into foreign films.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was gonna say, like for me, I'm interested in Bollywood, but I've never seen anything that was like remotely anything that I would want to see. But I hear there's so much amazing depth in Bollywood. I want to know more about it, but I just got
same thing, Daniel. I have a friend who really loves Bollywood movies and wants me to watch them, and I'm just kind of like when am I going to do it? So.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the Bollywood stuff I've seen is just kind of hokey. It doesn't feel like it translates when you watch it here. Now I watched a movie the other day, The Moving Earth, or what's it called? It's a Chinese movie. Amazing epic movie and huge budget that they did, and an interesting creative storyline. It was something that it wasn't based on anything that we've seen around here as far as what the story was. It may have been based on anime, I'm not sure. But you talk about creativity and not going back to the well. There's a ton of great stuff in anime that I think that could be explored and produced for over here that I think would get a big audience that hasn't. So
yeah.
I would definitely want to tackle neo-noir films. I've just always been interested in them, but I don't like watching and going to watch really, really old movies. I always thought if somebody made an updated version of a really good neo-noir film, I think it would do really well. I think it would look really cool. I think it would do really good at Oscar season. So I would like to see somebody come up with an updated neo-noir type film, even do it in black and white if you want to. Give them the trench coat and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not something I want to go back and watch, but it's always intrigued me.
Yeah, that Royan said in the comments, Korean horror films, like Korean, Japanese, Chinese horror films, like that stuff is on another level, and that's where America gets a lot of its ideas from, and we do them very poorly. So I need to get into those.
What was the zombie one we saw on the train that was so good?
Train to Busan.
Yeah,
man, that was all
Busan.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Josh, by the way, because you can't see the YouTube comments, Royan recommended that you watch Princess Mononoke and Howl's Moving Castle. So Josh, check those out.
That Chinese movie was The Wandering Earth. I think it's on maybe Netflix or Amazon Prime.
Okay.
All right, so Darby asked quite a question here. If you could pick a movie where one actor stays in place, but the remainder of the actors are replaced with the Muppets, which movie and who are you keeping?
I actually have an answer for this, but it's not exactly like the Muppets. It's a meme from a long time ago, which was just do Twilight, but Kanye West is Edward, and Kanye is Kanye, and everyone else stays the same. They follow the same script, but Kanye reacts to it as Kanye would. I always thought that would be funny. Muppets wise, yeah, I would say let's keep Robert Pattinson the same in Twilight, and everyone else Muppets. I think we should do that. I don't want to put Robert Pattinson through that pain again, but we could do that.
All right. Anybody else got one?
I'm going to go with Tropic Thunder and Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Keep
Josh
Tom Cruise
says
and the rest of
Jaws,
the Muppets.
keep the shark.
I got one for you. How about Napoleon Dynamite? I could totally see that with the Muppets. You know?
Yes.
That'd be fun.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. You could go with that and chase them out with the Muppets.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my, do the Breakfast Club, but the principal is the only one that stays the same. John Wick in the comments. John Wick, Keanu Reeves is the only one.
Ferris Bueller Days Off would be great as a Muppet film. That would be
the stupidest movie you ever watched. Anything with Amy Schumer in it. Trainwreck, that Mother's Day movie she did, all of them were garbage.
Yeah. Kung Pao Enter the Fist is the dumbest movie I've ever seen. Easily. Still the dumbest movie I've ever seen.
Movies I want to get into, like going back to that real quick, like the Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, like I don't want to call them ninja movies, but like karate movies. There we go.
They're great. Yeah.
Sarah's comment says Revenge of the Sith, keep Hayden as Anakin, but cast Kermit from the meme where he has his hood up as Darth Sidious.
All right, so we're going to go through just a few more of these because we're running out of time. Scariest type of horror for you guys. What really scares you in a horror movie?
Realistic
Hereditary.
horror.
Realistic horror? That's
Hereditary
good.
is the scariest movie ever.
Well, what,
It's
like,
great.
What
like
scares you in a
demon?
movie?
Demon horror, Daniel? Like demons? Is that what scares you?
Satanic. Well, it's like satanic horror because it's just like it's really messed up. And then when they get the soundtrack that fits, it's like so creepy. It's just like insanity, you know. But anyways, if you haven't seen that, my God, you gotta see it. If you want to like really get scared, it's so good. Like I don't know. I love that movie. It was wild.
When I was a kid, I got to watch Damien. I don't know how they let me do that, but Damien was a demonic kind of, and it's to the point where I'm like, if it's kind of that kind of movie, I'm not interested.
Isn't that's Omen, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's Omen.
Yeah, I didn't. That movie didn't scare me. I guess I'm just really desensitized to a lot of things. First world millennial problem, I guess. Yeah, but realistic horror. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good problem to have. Like when you're desensitized, you're less empathetic to things. But realistic horror.
Lose your mind though. If you see something that's scary.
Yeah, probably that would be good. And if someone breaks into my house to try to kill me, that'll scare me. But if it's a demon showing up, I'm just like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" Which is also not good. Yeah. Matt, what's your favorite type of horror?
My favorite type, I guess the scariest type.
Scariest type.
It doesn't happen often, and I wish it would happen more. You talked about the realistic type horrors. You have jump scares where everything gets all quiet, and then when the big thing happens, bam, the music gets loud, and it just happens. To me, it's a lot scarier when there's just no sound at all, and everything just happens silently. Like somebody's running at you, and there's just no music coming, or you just know that the killer's around the corner and there's just no music there. Jump scares just take me out of it because I'm like, oh, well, they're about to do some bang thing happen. But if you just do it silently, that's creepy for me. I hate silence. I really do. So,
did you watch the movie on Netflix, Hush, Matt?
Oh yeah, Hush. Hush is really good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed Hush.
Write that down.
and a lot of people just popping in some of these because that was probably the last question we're going to take just because we're running out of time. We thank you all for posting in your topic, posting in your questions. We thank you all for watching us tonight. We love having this following. We love doing this on Thursday nights. Probably do it every Thursday night. Let us know what kind of theme you want us to do. We just want to throw in some current topics for today. Tell us what themes you want and what questions you want us to do with those themes. We've done 80s. We've done the 2000s. I guess we could try to go back to the 70s. I don't know how well that'll work for Bethany, but maybe it's not a decade. Maybe we've done horror movie night. Maybe you think of a different genre. Please, please, please don't pick Westerns.
Oh, so we're definitely doing Western.
Yes.
You made Tony do musicals. So
we haven't done musicals yet. We should do musicals.
We haven't done documentaries. So, I mean, we need to do a documentary.
I also thought of doing
love
like, like Freaky Friday,
We just,
like movies like that, like body swapping type stuff.
So
I
y'all
guess
think
you
of
can include Face Off in that.
Yeah. Y'all think of something you want us to do? We'll write up the questions. We'll do it for y'all. And we thank you all for watching us here at Movie Rounders. Visit us at movierounders.com. Like us here on Facebook. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all of it. And tell your friends. Have them come back and watch our next episode. We thank you guys for watching Movie Rounders. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.